We have to remember and center what we are fighting for. We're fighting for Black joy to persist. We're fighting for Black life.
Kicking it off today with Elaine Welteroth and Johnathan Singletary. We are here to talk about their pandemic minimony, as they are also going to be featured in the Not Fall issue of 2020. Welcome. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Now, tell me, you're actually calling in from your wedding venue.
AKA our brownstone in Brooklyn.
You had to marry on a specific date. So tell me more about the significance first of that date and why it had to happen right then and there.
So first of all, I'll just say Johnathan and I have been together a really long time. We've known each other since we were 12. We grew up in the same church. Our moms were in the same church choir. Flash forward, we reunited in New York as adults. You know, we dated for a few years, got engaged, and then we had a 3.5-year engagement. When we became ready and we set the date had so much meaning. It was 5/10/20. It was a Sunday. It was Mother's Day. You know, it felt like a tribute to our mothers who introduced us. And so when the pandemic hit, I was like, you know what? Who says we have to cancel our wedding? Love cannot be canceled. We are going forward 5/10/20. And I got this whole vision of how we could do it right here on our stoop in Brooklyn, which has become our happy place. Why don't we do that times 10 for our wedding? Let's make our stoop our altar. Let's deck it out with flowers. Let's put candles. Whoever can come, you know, a small group of our friends that are local can come. And let's have each of them hold like a phone or an iPad or something so that with the faces of people we love back home, and let's just create our own tradition.
What else have you gained from having a minimony as opposed to having a regular wedding, you know, and going forward with the normal traditions that you would have anticipated?
From the moment I remember I stepped out onto the stoop to kind of just like see the scene before Elaine arrived, and I see like neighbors down the street on their stoop wave like with their wine ready and excited. I see neighbors across the street. I see people with signs. Neighbors ended up on the roof, and I'm just like waving to all these people that, you know, you see in passing, but it really created this connection where now we walk down the street and they're like, hey, newlyweds.
And they're like, yeah.
It's deepened all of that for us.
Yeah.
You did mention at one point that, you know, the police had showed up to your wedding. And I want to talk about how it ties into, you had this one phrase that said, Black life matters.
Getting married and being in the street and cops coming, all these different things threaten a Black person's ability to just live without fear. When that happened, it was just like, we felt in the midst of all this joy, like real fear. And thank God they passed on through after some convincing by a friend, but Elaine like broke down because of the release of that fear of like, did I just put so many people in danger, this community potentially in danger? Thankfully they passed through, and it was not one of those bad interactions with the police, which I've had several, and that allowed us to celebrate the way that we wanted to celebrate.
We can't continue to talk about this movement for Black lives only through the lens of dead Black bodies. We have to remember and center what we are fighting for. We are fighting for Black liberation. We're fighting for Black love to exist without the threat of one or both of the partners potentially losing their lives for nothing at any given moment. We're fighting for Black joy to persist. We're fighting for Black life.
In what ways has your marriage evolved and changed since May 10th, 2020?
I think we were individuals that were very aligned always, but now I feel like we are kind of one unit, and we're operating as one unit, and including how we think about, you know, our responsibility to our community in this time of uprising.
We want to make sure we as a family, as a community, as a unit, and our extended tribe are about social justice. Like, this is going to be something we spend time on weekly, daily, like voting, learning about who's up for election, locally especially, and all of that. So that's really a part of our partnership and kind of what we're building.
How are you as a partnership going forward with that messaging together, like tangibly speaking? Like what are some ways that you would?
For Elaine and I, we do meetings as often as we can. We try to do them weekly. So we'd have a family meeting and we have all the things to talk about, but social justice is now part of that as well. It's like, we have to be talking about it every week and thinking about like, what actions this week are we going to take, or what's coming up? Is an election coming up? What conversations do we need to have? Part two of that is like, as individuals, we all have our own strengths. And I think that even before the pandemic, we had something in us that we were supposed to carry out to help increase empathy in this world, or to bring more healing, or to educate, or to help people feel more free or more alive.
For me, I recognize there was actually a responsibility that came with being in the position that I'm in, having access that a lot of Black women don't have to various corporations, corporate leaders. And so a friend of mine, Aurora James, she said, well, you know what I think? I think that every major retailer in America should give 15% of shelf space to Black people. The Black population represents 15% of America's population. So the shelf space in American retail stores should reflect this diversity. There's 3 steps in our framework for the 15% pledge. And it's rather simple. First of all, step 1, let's take inventory of where you are, of your life, of your business. How many Black people do you have relationships with, deep relationships, personal, intimate relationships with? And then step 2 is take ownership. Once you identify all the factors in the ecosystem that you're a part of that have contributed to where you are in this fight, then it's about, okay, I have to own all of that. Step 3 is about taking action. This is where you're making a strategic plan to make change, to make necessary changes. And as I said, I think it absolutely applies to all of us, though. We don't have to have shelf space to apply these 3 steps to see how we can become actively anti-racist and join this fight, no matter where your starting point is.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much for actually listing out those action items step by step. I think it's so important that our readers and across the world, people just know that there are things that they can do within, starting from within. A huge thank you to Johnathan Singletary and our cover star of Fall 2020, Elaine Welteroth, for joining us today. Thank you both for sharing your story with us. The new issue of the Knot magazine is on stands now.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Hi, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and return for new videos every single week. Don't forget to hit that like button. No, seriously, you should hit it now.